Good morning, my name is Xavier Ramirez, and you're with SocialSoundSystem.com. Today we'll be discussing SmartURLs and how it is awesome for all your marketing and online needs. We've been using it for some time to as a link shortener to track all of our campaigns, and especially in music and touring and those type of releases. So I guess we'll just get right into it. Let's see, I'm going to do a screen share here. We have a bunch of stuff prepped and ready for us. So there we are. So one of my favorite things about it is the fact that you log in, it's tied direct to your Gmail account, and this just makes logins quick and easy and no problems, and it's not like having to remember anything. Here we are on the main screen if we're going to create a smart URL. It definitely helps streamline a lot of your campaigns and what you're doing. As you can see here, there's a number of different features and tools that we'll be going through that's all built into one single platform, and their motto is that, or their belief that one URL is all you're going to need, and we really think that's true here. We'll start here with how you can have these device and geo-aware links that allow you to dictate where you're going to be driving people. Now, the easiest way to think about this is if you're looking at it from a music release perspective. Let's take a artist here from iTunes, one of our artists here, Iration, album link. We're going to take this here, copy link address, and it's going to pull in there. And as you can see, it's filtering and searching through all these different countries because different releases have different iTunes stores. And as you can see, there's 119 iTunes stores just with one single shortened tracking release. So what this allows us to do is, this will be the US link. And if someone clicks from, say, United Kingdom, it'll take them to the UK store, to the Germany store, to the France store. So basically it allows you to easily address, issues of, different stores in different countries. Another great feature about being beyond music, let's say, for example, I used Vice as an example here. If I were to be linking to a specific, let's reload this page. If I were to be linking to a specific website, but say there's a different version for, we want to send people that are in Mexico to the Spanish version of Vice, or in Espanol, or Spain, or whatever other mixes you want to go. With one URL, it would be able to click through and take the different people based on their country destination. So in that respect, it just basically makes things easier for us, for the different stores, for the different releases, for different albums, maybe a different tour, maybe there's different content for different countries, or maybe you have a splash page that's in Spanish versus English, or whatever country you're targeting. So for example, we'll go through the rest of the process. So we're made this link. Here's the default URL. These are our destination things, and you'll see here it checks each destination to make sure that everything's good on them, and that way that that SmartURL is smart enough that knows if your fan clicks on it, they're not going anywhere malicious or dangerous, or it's not going to track any of their information. So we're going to put our custom URL here. So it's nice, instead of, a lot of people, when you're using Bitly in the past, it's, or just general URL shorteners, it's always good to put a custom alias here so that people know that what they're clicking on. The description here, we usually type in, Vice magazine, country, Espanol, whatever you're trying to do. Now, what's great here is this sort of access optional thing. I can basically give people on my different team access to be admins. Maybe they are just going to be reading the stats and the information only. And then here's some of my recent other created smart URLs. And created, and there we go. We have our smart URL built out. I could click that, and this takes me directly to where I'm going. Now we use this a lot for all of our different, tour listings, for album releases. We'll build out entire campaigns. So here's like different. Here's all our list of smart URLs that we've been working with for all of our various different campaigns. And for example, let's pull up. And here's a list of some summer tours that we recently launched. And as you can see here, we break it out by each different, Slightly Stupid's different shows here, market by market. And what we have here are total clicks, descriptions, dates. And one of our favorite parts about these things, about smart URLs, is the fact that you can change your destination of your URL on the fly. So say, for example, the pre-sale. We could have the pre-sale running, pre-sale's over. We can go back in, change this URL to the on-sale link and never have to worry about going back and finding all those different links, because it redirects on the fly and live. And in this fashion, it allows us to not have to worry about, okay, well, where did I have my pre-sale links? And then have to go back through 30 different pre-sale tour links, change those out, and then put in these new on-sale links, and then basically have, instead of having 30 different tracking links for each different tour date, now you'll have 60 tracking links, one for the pre-sale, one for the on-sale, and it just doesn't really make sense. And it also centralizes all your clicks across the entire campaign into your statistics here. And so that way, for the whole time since the on-sale, or since the pre-sale, since the launch of the official on-sale, there's been that many clicks in a particular market to help you gauge how much traffic's going on and what kind of stuff you're building. Obviously, and as stuff goes and as it gets closer to the shows, they definitely rise. Let's see, what else do we have? I'm going over this Google blog post that we kind of created so that we can go over things for us. Oh, another reason why it helps to have decentralized live redirects is that it keeps, let's see, close these, close this, close that, close that. For one, you could be using the same link over and over. This link here is from an album release over a year ago. And there are links that are out across the web, maybe on blog posts on different places, and what we're able to do is keep updating that link over time so that we don't have to worry about, did we remember to change it, or what random site was covering it way back in June of last year. I don't know, the graph's always been kind of messed up on this one, but I mean, basically you'll have all the data and all the tracks over time from different countries. You can see where the referring domains are over that entire period up to today. And it definitely helps make things easier on you and not having to remember where everything is and what I have to fix. And there's just, would you ever remember how to change all these links? Look at all these referring domains here. Like, would you ever even know to go fix that? And what happens then if you had a broken link on your tracking URL that's shortened and going to your campaign? I mean, that's impossible, I mean, what are all these sites? I don't know, but they still have your link and they're still driving clicks somehow. As you can see, you'll see your devices, which is also very useful. This is a trend we've seen, is that mobile is just dominating for several campaigns that, since um, for just engagement on clicks and everything, especially. And then what we've also noticed, that tablets are also starting to make an impact. And these are probably mobile apps such as I'm guessing like Pandora or Spotify or whatever third-party apps may be including, or emails that you can't really, sometimes it's hard to track through. Um, One of SmartURL's great features is this IQ ID. So instead of making, in the past, what you'd usually have to do if you're using Bitly is you'd make one URL for each campaign. You make it for your AdWords one. You make it for your retargeting campaigns. You make it for this media buy, that media buy, etc. But instead, you can use this one. Let's see, I'm going to reload this page. You can be using this one URL across all of your campaigns and using this little built-in IQ ID tool to track performance across different campaigns without creating a different URL for each one. And it's very useful and definitely helps. Let's see, let me show you here. So here, let's go back to the one we just created. So here, let's go IQ ID. When you finalize and save your URLs, your SmartURLs, here we are, you could basically, let's say that this is let's say we're going to run a, I don't know, maybe we're running a Pandora thing for Vice HBO or something like that. HBO Go, and let's say, these were audio plus banner. This is creating a tagged SmartURL with that specific IQ ID so that you would know that all the stats would be tracked here under the same SmartURL and IQ ID. And it also kind of gives you like the basic ones here automatically, which is definitely helpful. And if you put these, in your YouTube descriptions, or if you're using this for your Twitter ads campaign or your Facebook promoted posts or whatever, you would know where things are coming from. And here's your little QR code for those of you that still use them. I don't know. Let's see here. Close that there. And so this definitely, we've, in the process of using SmartURL, we've basically have been working in our teams to just create URLs across the board for any campaign that we're running, and we can track them across the board. Here's a recent video release we did, referring domains, from email campaign, for SoundCloud. Let's see, let's show some other ones we have here. We'll go to, this is Ink and Iron Music Festival we've been working with, music lineup. Let's see, tracks. Hold on, where is the good one? Okay, here's the ticketing link over all time. Referring domains, email, etc. That's the basic gist of SmartURL. It just gives you a lot of tools built within one free platform. If you want to promote your iTunes, oh, here's one thing we did not discuss is the device aware aspect of it. A lot of people don't have iPhones these days. Android takes up a large portion of users, and even the majority of smartphones in some markets. So if you're driving them only to iTunes, then that doesn't always play nice with the device that your fans are on. So what we do a lot of times is you can set the different stores. Say your iTunes link here. Hold on. oops, sorry, device, iTunes. And as we could also go to Google Play Store, and if someone clicks through on an Android device, we could send them to the Google Play Store instead. And that way, you know, or if Kindle Fire or BlackBerry or whatever it is you may want, you have all those different options to send them. Maybe you have an app that there's an iPhone version as well as an iPad version. There's all these different options here, so you can really play around with it and get, you know, take into account a lot of different factors that if you were just sharing a regular link from iTunes or for your basic like iPhone app, then, and if you do happen to have, like, for example, Slightly Stupid, one of our clients has a iPhone app and an Android app, and it's an easy way to just centralize it. If you are, I mean, say on your website, are you going to have two banners, for one for the iPhone app, one for the Android app? No, you could basically create one smart URL to streamline that process. Close this here. One of our favorite tools that they've also integrated is this new events, which they call shows nearby. So I can basically create an artist here. Let's say I do it myself, Joe Boo. And that'll be my custom tracking link. And I can basically add every event here, and I can set the mile radius around each show. I could say this is going to be the ticket link here, and then we'll say there's May 1st, May 2nd. They are playing Belly Up Tavern, Solana Beach, California, and I want this to go within 50-mile radius. Here's my ticket link. And now you'll see there's an overlap between the 50-mile radius of Los Angeles and the two shows. So that's one of the little tricks you have to get around, but you can basically reduce the mile radius for a different show. Let's hit save that, and then now they don't conflict. So here, for example, and what happens is if someone clicks this shows nearby, let's go with this one here. Here's for one of our clients, Iration. It automatically reads these where my IP address and where I'm clicking from, and if I fall within the mile radius of one of these shows. And then basically redirects me direct to the closest thing. Well, I guess we need to fix the ticket link on that one. Eventbrite, let's see, but here's all the different shows here. Here's what it looks like, though, when you fall outside of the tour radius for one of the closest shows next to you. It'll bring you to a map here. So say like I don't fall within 50 miles or 30 miles or 20 miles for whatever show I'm trying to see. It'll bring me to a map here, basically showing all the upcoming shows for that particular artist that you've added to your shows nearby tracking URL. And this blue dot is me, or no, the purple dot's me. Closest show is this purple location. How many miles away I am, 36. And here's all the upcoming shows for their upcoming tours. So I could basically, if I was a fan, maybe I didn't fall close enough, I can go through and see everything. One thing we have noticed with these is that you should not use a smart URL in any of these ticket links, because it doesn't play nice when you have too many redirects for a link. So if, for example, then if you visited the shows nearby tool, and then it was going through a SmartURL, which redirects to another ticket link. It's just, a lot of the sites and ad networks and social, like Facebook and stuff like that, don't like when they just can't control where those fans are going to be going, and it can be changed too easily on the fly. That's the main thing. What else do we have? Streaming. There was previously a fifth option here called streaming, which I guess was acted similar to music, but instead of going to like a destination, it would be an iTunes store. It would be YouTube, Spotify, RDO, Beats, or whatever streaming iteration it was, because that's the trend as well. People aren't buying music as much, but they're streaming a whole lot, and bands are collecting that data from there. And then finally, I would say one of the main shortcomings we have for SmartURL. So yes, it does all these things. We love it. We've been using it for over a year now, and we're able to work in teams, and we're able to all share in the content and data and stats, and basically just provide information of what real-time tracks are and clicks are. For example, here's a Pandora campaign we recently ran. Instead of waiting for reports, we can basically see what engagement is going on pretty much in real time, and maybe adjust and change by that. But since we have been using it for over a year now, it is pretty overwhelming in here, considering, so there's 257 different tracking campaigns and links. Yes, you can search, and you could say, here's a Pandora campaign, and let's say San Diego. Yeah, you can search, and you can find all these different SmartURLs you've created for various different campaigns, but it's really hard to actually. One of the things we wish they could have is some sort of organization system like folders, so that you can put all of one client's SmartURLs into one folder, maybe one tour or one, whatever it is you're trying to organize. It would just be a lot easier. You could sort all these columns by the type, by the name. This premium is more for, I think, they do have an enterprise solution where you could like hide stats, and you can do a lot more with it, but we haven't explored that yet. So description, the number of URLs that it clicks through. So here's, for example, this is a sound tracking app, goes to 155 different stores or iterations in some sort of mobile apps. Slightly Stupid's mobile app we were talking about earlier. So, but it is hard to just go through and find. Sometimes, like, I wish I could make like my own different folders for different clients, and I can click through and then have everything centralized within there. But that's just this is the nature of the beast right now. You're dealing with a free tool. And finally, I would say one of the hardest things though is just conversion tracking, because it kind of falls on you to manage and control all those to basically track conversions. Like, you either have to have Google URL builders set up so that you can track e-commerce or lead conversions, or have tracking pixels and conversion pixels installed on your site so that you can see where those clicks are coming from. But part of that problem is, especially if you're dealing with music and touring bands, is you don't have access to third-party sites like Ticketmaster and Live Nation to install a tracking pixel and say, okay, well, this campaign or this post sold this many tickets, or this email drove this many tickets. That's kind of just the nature of the music and touring beast right now. But there are workarounds around it that we have found, but we'll save that for another time. And that's primarily what we've wanted to talk about today. Alex, do you want to chime in here and kind of discuss any things that I missed out?
Seems like you pretty much hit everything. Going through the document, I don't see anything that we've really haven't done.
What's your feedback as far as using smart URLs on a day-to-day basis?
I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. If I could have some sort of an organizational system, it'd be much easier. When I'm trying to go through and look for statistics on specific URLs that I've been building out using, like, especially when I'm already delving down into IDs and links that are individually, like if I want to go through and I'm running, let's say, a tour promo, and I want to see how AdWords is doing, I want to be able to go through and pull up that tour and then pull up all of those statistics very quickly, as opposed to having to go through and find all of those individual tour links, which are just scattered throughout the system. I mean, with advertising and everything else, there's so much stuff that's already going on that time is a huge factor.
Yeah.
So organization would be one nice thing. Conversion track. I know they do have iTunes conversion tracking for music, but that's also part of the premium service that you have to pay for.
Yeah.
And that's only through iTunes. So some sort of, it would have to probably be a partnership on their end, similar to how other links have done it, where they find companies to partner with. But then again, it's hard for any link company to be that one solution. You usually have different link companies, like we've been working with Jamplify, who's building their own links, but they're only partnered with, you know, a certain amount of companies. And like if we want to do e-commerce tracking through email and MailChimp, we can do that, but only if there's certain shopping carts set up.
I wonder if SmartURL has the custom, you know, one of the things that a lot of people like about Bitly is that you can make the custom domain shortener. Mm-hmm. You know, that's one thing I've always wondered about SmartURL, if they're able to do that as well.
I do not believe so, but that would be nice.
Yeah, I think that may be in their enterprise solutions. This is from SmartURL is built by Gupta Media, which is a really big marketing and advertising agency, creative firm, and they do have a lot of great tools. So this is one of the ones that is just super easy. And when we first found it, compared to, I think we first found it noticing on, you know, people's campaigns on Facebook when people are promoting their album campaigns and stuff like that. But it's really expanded beyond just being a URL shortener to more just like you're a one-stop shop for whatever campaign you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. Like this shows nearby tool is great. Like Alex, you want to talk about how we've kind of been using those for different campaigns?
Mostly what we've been using Shows Nearby for is in our advertising campaigns. So we can create one advertisement depending on what kind of advertising or depending on which advertising platform you're using. Sometimes it's better to break it down per market in terms of like Google AdWords. But in terms of something where if we're doing a promoted YouTube video where we just have let's say we're trying to promote a tour, we have a new music video that we just want people to see to increase engagement, awareness of that band. But that's going out nationally and it's not targeted. So by using Shows Nearby link, we can basically put that into the video advertisement and say, click here to find a concert date near you, and we don't need to build out all of these different, if we have 30 tour dates, we don't need to build out 30 different video ads. We just build out one video ad that's all the same, and whoever clicks it, it's bringing them to the closest show. So it saves some time and effort on our end and makes it a bit more streamlined for the user on the other end as well.
Yeah, so instead of creating, 30 campaigns per market, say instead of, for Twitter or for YouTube, you can create one general campaign and say, click here to find the show closest near you. And what's really great is it just streamlines the process for fans, like removing that extra click for them. Like I don't have to go, I'm not going to click on a Facebook post and then go to your tour dates site and then go find the tour dates page or the tour event I want to go to and then click that ticket link and then go to the ticket page and then have to go through the whole ticket buying process. It just basically says, this is the tour you want to go to, let's click here. Mm-hmm. And it's easy, especially with what we've also kind of been doing is you'll do a national Twitter blast or a national Facebook post, and then you can go into your ad campaigns and you could target those specific markets, like say for example Monterey, San Diego, like right now we have these 6 shows here are this upcoming tour dates in a month from now. So you could do national tour blast promoting the general shows nearby tool link, but in your ad campaigns you could only target on Yuma, Albuquerque, Corpus Christi, basically Texas and New Mexico and Arizona, and that way you're only paying for these particular markets. And when those fans click and see those promoted posts or those promoted tweets, it kind of drives specifically to the fans you're trying to reach.
Mm-hmm.
And they can get their tickets for the shows they want to easily.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add, Alex?
That's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, we put together a Tumblr doc because it was kind of scattered what we were talking about here, but there is a Tumblr blog post on SocialSoundSystem.com, and you could also email us at info@SocialSoundSystem.com if you have any questions, or we're all available online. So I don't know, that's what we just wanted to talk about with SmartURL and how it's basically made our lives easier, and it's just easy for all your marketing purposes. So with that, thank you. Thanks, Alex.
Adios, guys.
Later.